for your mama akwaba edeba enko so GATV so yeni na yenim se omanya this year and now say this year kron ye the late former JJ Rawlings edam pemua enye fedi agro na se beka ya be busu mienu entemu enna papai ehwere ne nkwa Ghana for ejijadwo ni huka ni kunedu ajima Rawlings ne ma ni na ejijadwo ebusuafo ahwere ade saso ena Ghana so ahwere ade na nyankopon eya adum woye adum emakwesiada no mpenifo ekoye newufo sum kama ewo Holy Spirit Trinity Cathedral ewo nkran saso na ndra yededa no ewo mpemu ewo Accra International Conference Center enne so ne da etoso mienu a chese yededa ne mpemu a adehye adofo betimi akwahwomo na ndedru eyidie ekoso GATV yesu ya bepiem wo ho a ye hwese ne enwuma sifa eko ho wo hwe mpanimfo akukudama wo mu ekopie adwumadie na ase a me nua bema me nua ba na chese Ghana ya hwere adekasi ye ankasa na wo hwe eye leader of MPP na nkebeka se majority caucus yesema yenka ne sa saso na nkebeka se minority caucus na yesema yenka ne society the leader of NDC eye Haruna Idrusu ekopie wo ho majority and as a MPP leader or say Mensa Bonsu esu ekopie mu wo ho a na eye ade a utumu say ya hwere ade Ghana man penny adugagai adu where is my chichi ekoho ekohwe anopei okohwe se na nwuma si ko ho vice president ni hu kani so ekopie mu wo ho a menua ba ma eya ade hye ya hwere ade o ya hwere ade esanse the legend eye JJ Rawlings watwa nananum wo esiedu a wo hwe MP edema eye ada ekopie mu wo ho wo hwe MP edema eye Madina ekopie mu wo ho the leader communication and I say minister of communication esu ekopie wo ho wo hwe se na nwoma sifa eko ho a eye former deputy speaker so ekopie mu a na otimi wo se Ghana ya hwere ade openi anadisho da wo no na oyobi a na wo sombo edema Ghana mama yensem no mama yenko ho ne yenko hwe nwoma ekoso senia penifo ejijadwo a mo hwe oye o my penny dada the late JJ Rawlings a odawa onke kane ho papa na nko wo honden papa na nko kema na bebia ye din na eda wo yo ye friend na wonje so ya sefo mama yenko ne yenko hwe mo somfo nana ja enko so hema.
President of the and the wife, Rebecca, Mrs. Rebecca Kufuor, first lady. See, President Kufuor filing past the body. Kafu Day. It's been a very solemn day, and today is going to be the day for the leadership of this country. President and the wife in to pay their last respect. How do you look at this and how does this reflect and build the image of Ghana?
Well, it's part of respect. Former president who passed away 2 months ago, so he's doing what has to be done, and accompanied by his wife and members of his team. So they've done what is expected of them. and we are glad for that.
We're glad. So this is how beautiful the whole built on the Republic of Ghana. The former president was the first of the Fourth Republican Constitution, the first president of the Fourth Republic, and President Akufo-Addo is the fifth president of the Fourth Republic. So the fifth is now paying due respect to the first president of the Fourth Republic. And the Fourth Republic has been the institution that has given us a very stable democracy. Stable democracy. This is something, and in the past we always talk about checkered political history. But this time, I think that word checkered political history, it's something that we'll have to start learning to do away with.
It's quite symbolic that the Fourth Republic was ushered in by a man who has been intimately involved in the history of the country. Some would say for the wrong reasons, because of what happened in 1979, which brought down a military government, and then in 81, which curtailed the Third Republic. But the irony and the enigma and the mystery is that the same person who was behind the May 15th insurrection was an integral part of June 4th, 79 and December 31st, 81, is the same person who transformed to become a democratic leader and served for 2 terms, duly elected. And then after his second term, he did what most people did not expect him to do. He did not perpetuate himself in power. He just handed over. And his party even lost that election in 2000, which is an oddity in most parts of the world, where how can you be in power for so long and then your party loses an election? It's not done. And there are a lot of countries in Africa which go by that rule, that you can't be in power for that long and lose. Yes, but that's the way things happen in Ghana and events.
After the Chief of Staff, then we should be expecting to see the Secretary to the President, and that would be Nana Asante Bediatu.
Yadamase bebre. Ebre nunti. Yadamase bebre. We di adanse pefe se asantema wura ne sunsum awura fia ha. Amamne no ene ye hya ase no. Sabre ye nche kwa metume safre na olubempa. One oba panyi maame mansa na womo de otekokko so na disiede ene asante hema adisiede aba. Program ya ye TV nyina so ewo Ghana ti obia enhwe na yantoto ne mama ne nyina anya kama na osu bempa ya maame mansa ya twemu
Yo, that's me wadaroma. Wo ho tia me. Ento barima safo. Ato barima safo. Chubo akodi oto bienu. Eye kuma hine. Yo tu fo tu no mo be si na nai. Ena bono na se eyi ase. Samijira na mija mo ti kokko so. Otu fo se tutu abebi o. Club ya sante kotoko hene osi abra no na si oda de benkum so no ampa abusia ile ne ma na no mu di animu me be se no otumfo bu ni sanene na si dampem otumfo ma me ba ya osi elma safo twiribu akodia onsa aya snap pantu mienu whiskey strada osije na fe twa fie sana abusia di atomani yere ne ma osomo di sharp adaka baako ya pentu sia whiskey pentu osomo ni no fe twa safie otumfo se odna sinisiti no ti man ko samanja ya to ma ba ya ntuba fuo bonwe kente ya odbakata no so no na na madaruma ne abusia bi ha na mani ye no edamasi
Mbetie me kakra mijira ma akwadu ya mota so me ansa asante ma nti na mijira ha enche bia na ne ba ene ne nananom ene abusua Emma Nana Sote. So no na se kadema mpanyini watwere nua ban na kwa du papa fisa na se preko pe no obu na no ene na eso a ye gya se kwan wose wantimi na kuma se saa osuma ya ma ya ban wose am na me ya sante am na se ne fata ni abanya na se kwan na kwa du ma me ba ya wose ne mane ne nananom ene na busua wo mu buro ni sapantu saa na kuma wu hene Uresi watumfu anan wansu bro ni sapantu wasu okuta bonyansa dua so epoa yamfa nkata na aseso na nasi dru nsia do ne abusan sai na kentaya wutu we yakrache na ye de kentaya wakase awale pa me kon wo asantemamu enti ne de kentaya gya me kwan na kwa adu ma me ba ya na mama ne no.
Is it true? Until this morning, when I arrived here and stood there for some time, said things in my mind, no response from him. The usual way he will respond immediately I get to him, there was no response. So now, truly, it dawned on me that my boss is no more. He's truly gone to his maker.
Now, let us quickly now look at the values that he stood for. Probity, accountability, integrity, social justice. These are the things. Are you sure that these quality tenants will live with us? And do we respect them? Or he is dead, so he has died with it?
I think his death and the love that has poured out should rather, in a way, excite us to keep to these values. I likened this situation to what happened as we read our Bible and we are told stories about. Even when Christ was alive, his teachings, many of us didn't accept it. If I say many of us, I mean those of us who were alive. We didn't accept it. It was after his crucifixion and resurrection.
Let me rudely interrupt you. Kofi Adams, that is Honorable Joshua Alabi, former Greater Accra Regional Minister during Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings' time.
Actually, yes. Greater Accra Minister and Northern Regional
Minister. Yes.
At the point too.
Yeah. And now as a very solid person in the party that former President Jerry John Rawlings formed at the NDC. So Kofi.
So it should excite us to want to keep up those values. The truth is that these are foundational values of the development of every country. You can't do without social justice. If you have to develop, there should be social justice. Issues of probity and accountability in every sphere of life, not only political or financial accountability. We must be accountable in everything that we do, even in media, in our work as journalists, in our work as, if I call it, men of God. Somebody say we shouldn't call them men of God because we are all men of God. Even our religious work, even in our homes, how we relate with our spouses, how we relate with our children, how our children relate with us, our stewards and the rest. There should be probity, there should be accountability, there should be justice in that relationship. Look, if we do that, the political tension and the rest, all those things will become a thing of the past. We will compete for power because we have to compete for it. But the tension, the fact that if I see Honorable Titus Glover, because he's in the opposing side, we must be enemies. This one must never even advise another person. But if we believe in social justice, if we believe in probity and accountability, even if it is Titus that is president and not my party, I'll be willing to help him, because his success will be the success of the country for the period he has the mandate. And so I think that it's an opportunity. President Rawlings' life, all through the ups and the downs and how he exited, should encourage us to pick up on those values and see how we can raise them to every sphere of our life and carry on.
And carry it on. Titus Glover.
Yes.
We are now looking at the end of a man that really dominated the political scene of this country for 19 years, 11 years plus 8 years, Democratic rule. And then he walked off after 8 years, handed over, and then the democracy is gone. And we used to describe Ghana's political history as checkered. But for the past 30 years, we are seeing a stable democracy, Fourth Republican Constitution, Fourth Republic, very stable. How would we want to see this beautiful country of ours after the passing of Flight Lieutenant Rawlings?
Thank you very much. The 31st December revolution, we were told, was the last of our revolution. So for the 11 years that he walked us through that transition, before he ushered us into democratic rule, he demonstrated his commitment that this is the path the world and the people of this country want us to go. Therefore, he gave his all to make sure we go by these tenets of this constitution. Let me say it now, and let me repeat myself. The late former president was an institution. He was an institution. Therefore, we need to guard this democracy so jealously in such a way that we will not go to the past. From 1992 up to year 2001, he lived to see what he built. And he made sure that whatever it takes for us to make sure we remain in constitutional rule, we should not allow him to go. As for give and take as political opponents, we are not enemies. We all have divergent views. We all want to come to Accra from Tema. Kofi can decide to go to the motorway. I can go to the coast. But we are right here in Accra. It is only management typology, the style, that will change. So long as we want to practice multi-partism, that is what we need to do. Whatever we are doing that will destroy the beauty of this country, we should be guided about it. And to make sure we hold what our predecessors, our forebears, including the former president and us, we should hold it. I would have loved that it's a whole school that was set up in his honor. A whole institution that was set up in his honor. When he was alive, and they wanted to name the UDS after him, he said, no, this is a man who doesn't want materialism. They pleaded with him, he said, no, but I think now is the hour to remind generations to come that this was a man, when he had a donation of 50,000 cedis, he could have pocketed it. He could have gone to do some business with it. He could have used to pay the fees of his ward, his children, and all that. He said, no, he wanted to build the human capital of the young ones in this country. And this is what he did. So such a person, we need to celebrate him. So for your question, what I can say is that we have come to live with democracy. And that is what he has bequeathed on us. We must all, as Ghanaians, as political parties, come together to make sure we jealously guide this democracy that he has bequeathed to us.
Honorable Kofi Adams, I know that the values that he stood for, it's all for us to now experience. And whatever foundations he's laid, it's for all of us now to guide it. But then you look at it, he was a man of the people. The people loved him.
That is the difference he beats with we in the opposition.
The people loved him. And had it not been COVID, by this time this place would have been besieged. There would have been stampeding here. But because of COVID, this is what we say. So does it tell? I want to find out from you. You should know that it is not what we want, but it can come. And when it comes, this is it. How should we direct our youth the teeming people that love this man and love the parties we represent. Both parties, the NPP and the NDC. How do we talk to our teeming supporters to let them understand that it is politics we're doing, but not distraction? And they, as supporters as well, should know that if their leaders are doing politics and it is not distraction, how do we speak to them to let them understand that this is the way forward for our motherland?
We all have a role to play, and you are speaking to me as a practicing politician and a partisan one for that matter. But like you asked and said, we have a responsibility to make sure that our country develop out of fair, just atmosphere based on
Nobody should tell you that COVID is not there. Somebody wants to profit from COVID, and therefore this. And please protect yourself.
That's right.
Let the regional minister assist you to protect yourself, and let our brothers and sisters in the Volta region know that we need them all together to move Mother Ghana forward.
Right.
Honorable, now regional minister.
President Minister Designate.
Regional Minister Designate, former minister, now Regional Minister Designate.
Yes,
now, Dr. Lecha,
Yes, sir.
we are seeing the mortal remains of former President Jerry John Rawlings. He stood in for certain values, and whenever you hear probity, accountability, integrity, and social justice, no, these words were there, but immediately you mention them, then what comes into mind is Jerry John Rawlings. Now Jerry John Rawlings is lying in a casket before us. Those values he stood for, values that he spoke about. How do we, as a people, and you people as politicians, encourage the people to respect? Because it should not be only for him. It should, if it can develop this country, then it should be something that all of us agree and accept and live with. How do we ensure that, you as politicians, ensure that the people accept it and everybody will play his part to move this country forward?
I think that those values are very, very, very vital for the development of our country. And if we are able to uphold those values, then the resources that we have can be targeted at the development of our country and to improving the lives of our people. So they are very, very important values that all of us as a country must embrace. It's not only politicians, even from our families, family heads must be accountable for any revenues that come to the family. Chiefs must be accountable. And in our small offices, wherever we find ourselves, whether in public service or the private sector, we have to apply those values if we are to actually develop our country. Because that is what we can, those values will protect the public purse and make sure the little resources that are made available will actually go to provide the services that they are intended to do. So we remember First Lieutenant J.J. Rawlings for his passion for accountability, transparency, and social justice. And I've had a bit of personal relationship with him as a minister in the region, because he lived sometimes in Tefle, which happens to be the southern district of the Volta region. And he was a great advisor. I took the opportunity to consult him on certain issues, and he was very helpful and supportive to me. And I've met him at many functions where his usual self was displayed. And I think that Ghana has lost a very important personality. But we hope that we shall continue to apply the principles that he lived for, especially social justice. And he was also very passionate about the development of our country. And he has played his role. And I believe that after him, all the governments have also done their bit. And our president, the Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, is also very much passionate about the development of this country, and he has love for our country. And that is why we are all here to pay our last respect to him and to give him a befitting farewell. And so we appreciate, and especially I'm from the Volta region. He's our son. And so it's important that we are here. So I'm here with my former deputy minister, who also came with me, because we have to be present. And we are a bit emotional because we had close relationship with him. But what can we do? That's all of us travel to Togo or somewhere before you can get your milk and your sugar and the cloth. I remember there were times that you're going to buy cloth, somebody was telling the story of brooms.
Yes, Mokola. There's the reason why the Mokola, Kalabule Mokola. So they would tie the cloth that they had, you would tie it to a broom. Okay. So when you want the cloth, you go and point to the broom. When you point to the broom, it's not the broom you are buying, but the cloth that is tying, they're holding the broomsticks together. So that is the one you buy. So that was the era.
Yes, but since then we've come a very long way. He played his part in bringing us from that mess, and things began to improve during his time. And as I said, when President Kufuor came, things improved. President Atta Mills, President Mahama, and then President Akufo-Addo. So we want to show our gratitude to Flight Lieutenant Rawlings, late for the services to our country, and his character is something that he has left behind, and for us to emulate, the young people to emulate the character of humility, selflessness, social justice. I mean, feeling for the downtrodden was his passion, and therefore he was able to carry people along with him. So we are here today, myself and my former deputy. We are here to pay our last respect to him, to his mortal remains, and also to participate in the funeral services tomorrow. Yeah, so.
Thank you so much, Regional Minister.
Thank you.
You're welcome to Accra.
Thank you.
And I wish you a healthy stay. Enjoy Accra.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And Ambassador Ekuasena Danso, and former Member of Parliament for North Dai. It's a pleasure having you.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Accra International Conference Center, day 3 of the final funeral, right, for former President Jerry John Rawlings. We have a series of interviews going through in our studio, and I have 2 people with me in the studio. I have Ambassador Edith Hazel, High Commissioner to Denmark, and but
Ashafo ye nyina ye kohunu bi ye hu senia mpanimfo akohwe papa yi a woda wei Ghana ye dehye Ghana ye dofo ye papa ye mami ye nua eye the late Rawlings and da mpemu a ye pusu na empuo ye frɛ na emfrɛ nyankopɔ ya duma wo chena da no wo mo ba kɔpɛ ne krabia wo akwai mienu mitimi ka be kɔpɛ ne krabia ye be pɛ ne chi kra na mpanimfo a ɛkɔhwɛ ne de mu amuhu bi ne ɛkɔso ɛdra ye de be somo ɛnde so aba ne be pie mu wo chene bia so no ye de ba be somo mo somfo na ya enkoso hema me kama brother Nick me editor editor Jack me da muni na se esa catch mo se mo hyede na ye papa ye nua ya hwere ni ye si dwani fedue ye catch ni se wokoda onkoda wasumdue kopim se nyankopon ebe frɛ ye ni na ama ya sa ko hye biom me da ma se esa mo monishia makramo